What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford is 39 wins, no loss and no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Terence Crawford is going into the biggest fight of his career, July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, as he faces off against undefeated, unified three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not the number one. Top five, pound for pound, best fighters in the world, in Errol, The Truth, Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. has a record of 28 wins, no loss and no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, this is a massive fight. The biggest fight in boxing in the last 40 years, this fight is, okay? And Terence Crawford is leaving no stone unturned, as it's being reported that Terence Crawford is bringing in, or has brought in, light middleweight, okay? Light middleweight title contender, who is a Cuban star boxer, Carlos Adames, who is 23 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. He is 29 years of age, 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach. He switches, Carlos Adames does, from southpaw to orthodox. He is very versatile, right? He is very, 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 he is very, slick. He has a lot of power. He's very aggressive. He's big. He's strong. And again, like I said, Carlos Adames can switch from southpaw to orthodox. Errol Spence is a natural southpaw who's big and strong and fundamentally sound. Carlos Adames is big, strong, and fundamentally sound, okay? So Carlos Adames, he particularly fights at 154 and he fights at 160, okay? And so with that said, this is a fighter. Errol Spence is big, strong, fundamentally sound, and aggressive. He's a natural southpaw. He is very focused. Errol Spence is on going to the body. He is extremely focused on going to the body. He makes that his business to break you down physically and go to the body, okay? And so now, with that said, it's being reported that Carlos Adames, who just had one of the biggest wins of his career this past Saturday, as he took on former unified junior middleweight world champion superstar boxer Julian J-Rock Williams, who is now 28 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. J-Rock, he beat J-Rock via 9th round TKO. Now, he hurt J-Rock a few times in this fight. J-Rock is 33 years of age, 5'10" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's a very slick fighter. He has very high ring IQ, puts combinations together very well. Carlos Adames is very slick, okay? Puts his power and his combinations together very well. If you look at the fight with Carlos Adames and you look at the fight with him and J-Rock, okay? Again, J-Rock is very crafty. He has an extremely high ring IQ. J-Rock has power. He's very crafty. He's very slick. J-Rock is, a force to be reckoned with. Now, his punch resistance is not the same as it once was, but J-Rock is a special fighter, okay? And so with that said, Carlos Adames, if you watch the fight, there's a lot of similarities in his approach to Errol Spence's approach, right? Carlos Adames is very, very aggressive. He goes to the body. Now, he switches. Where Errol Spence, he's predominantly a southpaw. He don't switch from southpaw to orthodox. Errol Spence is versatile, but he don't focus on switching from. So that's just not who Errol Spence is. That's not what Errol Spence does. Errol Spence is very fundamentally sound. He's very consistent. He's very aggressive, and he has an extremely, extremely high work rate. And Carlos Adames, he has an extremely high work rate. But more importantly, he can fight in a southpaw manner. He's big, he's strong, and he's aggressive. And his focus in his approach is going to the body and breaking you down. At one point in time in the fight with Julian J. Rock Williams, Carlos Adames, he landed about 4 to 7 unanswered body punches. Okay, and I say 4 to 7 because J. Rock may have attempted to throw a counter in between there, but he was standing there in the high guard in defense, and Carlos Adames was just landing hooks to the body. He focused on going to J. Rock's body, whether it was the jab, whether it was the hooks to the body, whether it was uppercuts to the chest. He focused on the body, and he switches from southpaw to orthodox. And that is what Errol Spence does. So Terence Crawford is leaving no stone unturned, making sure that he could get the best work possible. Obviously, Terence Crawford started his career in a smaller weight class. He started at 130 pounds. Then he worked his way up to 147-pound world champion. He became a world champion at 135, 140, and 147. So Terence Crawford, is naturally viewed as the smaller fighter. But Terence Crawford is extremely strong. He's his number one sport, in my opinion, is the fact that he loves to wrestle. So he's extremely strong. But Errol Spence is a fundamentally sound, big southpaw who has an extremely high ring IQ. He's nothing like what Terence Crawford faced in the past, and vice versa. Terence Crawford is nothing like anything Errol Spence has faced in the past. But Errol Spence, 9 times out of 10 in the sport of boxing, great big men beat great little men. So Terence Crawford has to completely leave no stone unturned. And this was a great idea to bring in Carlos Adames. Now, I don't know how he's using, if he's still available now. Their fight is in 4 to 5 weeks now. I don't know if Carlos Adames is available now because he just fought last week and he has to give his body a rest. But that was, a great idea on the part of Terence Crawford. Great strategy, bring in somebody who is aggressive, who can switch so he can fight in a southpaw manner and give Terence Crawford the look that Errol Spence is going to give him. Now, is Carlos Adames as athletic and as talented as Errol Spence Jr.? No. He's just simply not. But he can give him a look and an idea of what he's going to face with the aggression, with the size, and vice versa. Because Carlos Adames was facing a guy in Julian J. Rock Williams who's very versatile, who is very crafty, very slick, extremely long arms, and has a high ring IQ. So Terence Crawford was able to give him the same looks. And so, you're never going to find an opponent. Terence Crawford is never going to find an exact opponent that can mimic or give him the look that Errol Spence is. Only opponent he can find to mimic Errol Spence is, Errol Spence himself. So Terence Crawford just simply is not going to be able to find a guy who can give him the looks that Errol Spence is going to give him, right? So with that said, I thought this was a great strategy and a great idea on the part of Terence Crawford to bring in a guy like Carlos Adames, who is hungry, who many people view as the boogeyman within the sport of boxing. I don't know if he's the boogeyman per se, but there's definitely a handful of people that don't want to face off against Carlos Adames because of his style, his aggression, his fundamentals. I think the school of boxing, the Cuban school of boxing, is the best school of boxing. Okay, I highly believe that. Cuba produces some of the best fundamentally skilled, talented fighters in all of boxing, right? Their way of their approach and their way of doing things. I believe it's the best school of boxing. And Carlos Adames, he comes from that Cuban school of boxing. And, it showed. Now, again, in his fight with Julian J. Rock Williams, there was a lot of people that complained and a lot of people that felt like J. Rock was robbed, including J. Rock himself when the referee waved off the fight. But in my opinion, when you watch the fight, J. Rock completely was hurt. He was out on his feet at many times. And I was saying to myself, one punch is going to change this fight. All Carlos Adames has to do is land one punch, and the referee is definitely on the verge of stopping this fight. He was stumbling around. He was fading. Now, he was very aware. He was caught. He was conscious. He was aware. He was trying to throw punches back, but he was hurt. And why wait till a fighter is seriously hurt and not able to be able to play with his family? Be able to play with his kids and enjoy his family and enjoy the fruits of labor. Sometimes it's better safe than sorry. Too late means too late in the sport of boxing. So, I was fine with the stoppage, and Carlos Adames, I thought was eventually going to knock him out. My prediction was the 8th round stoppage victory, and it was the 9th round stoppage victory. But this is good strategy on the part of Terence Crawford This fight is going to live up to the billing. July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. I can only imagine the sparring partners that Errol Spence is bringing in to prepare for Terence Crawford. This is exciting. I can't wait to see how it unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.